Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day. Want to welcome you all back to another installment of Live Album Spotlight. And this is the album and the Live Album Spotlight. The latest live archival release from the Rolling Stones, Live at the Wiltern, the Wiltern being the Wiltern Theater in Los Angeles. This album was released on March the 8th of this year in various formats, and triple LP, double CD with DVD, and as you saw, double CD with Blu-ray. Um, in 2002, 2003, the Rolling Stones embarked on the Licks World Tour, celebrating their 40th anniversary as a band. They also released at that time a double greatest hits compilation called 40 Licks. Now, for this tour, they played the obligatory arenas and stadium shows, but they every once in a while played the theater gig, as was the case with the Wiltern Theater. The Wiltern Theater is a theater that was built in the 1930s, 1930 exactly to be, I do believe to be precise, and it has a seating capacity of 1,850 people. Now, from what I saw on the Blu-ray, um, it was packed to the rafters in the audience because they were doing pan shots of the audience. In the audience, you for this performance were Tom Petty, Neil Young, and the late actor comedian Richard Lewis, who was basically in the front row of this performance. It's a very laid back performance. I'll get into that in a sec. It was recorded in November of 2003. Supporting the band on stage, you have longtime session and touring bassist Daryl Jones, longtime backup singer Lisa Fisher, who also is a R&B singer in her own right. She has her own career. And you also have on saxophone Bobby Keys, who recorded with the band in the 70s. Now, looking at the track list, there are 20 tracks on this recording, 11 on CD1 and 9 tracks on CD2. So it's quite a lengthy album. It clocks in at around 112 minutes, so just shy of 2 hours. Fantastic. It's a fantastic cross section of well-known tracks of the hits, plus some rarities that they hadn't performed in a while. I'll go through it with you. It starts off, first of all, I watched the Blu-ray today, and it starts off again with the pan shot of the audience and the people just basically gearing up for the show. And as they're doing a pan shot, the band are introduced on the stage. I do believe that Solomon Burke does the introduction. I didn't see myself because the camera was on the audience. But the minute the band is announced, the audience are into it like you would not believe. So they come on and they do a rousing rendition of Jumpin' Jack Flash. And the stage itself, it's a very small stage, very intimate. No pyrotechnics are used for this performance, no laser light show. It is basically just the band interacting with the audience. And the stage has a little runway that goes out into the audience. So the band can interact pretty closely with the audience. And again, the audience is eating it up. So after Jumping Jack Flash, you have Live With Me from Let It Bleed, Neighbors from Tattoo You. So as I said, they're going into the catalog for stuff they haven't performed in quite a while. I haven't heard of Live With Me until I saw this performance, and it's pretty good. I mean, the band are really relaxed. They're really into the show. The audience is just going ballistic for them, right? I mean, this is Rolling Stones. And just a bit of a side note, I've seen the Rolling Stones 3 times in concert. Once in 94, twice, sorry, in 94, and once in 89. That was my first time seeing the Rolling Stones. So I thought, how many times can you see a band do, Jumping Jack Flash or, Satisfaction? So I haven't chosen not to see them since, also due to ticket prices. But watching this show, I gotta tell you, it is a treat. It is a very relaxed atmosphere. The band are really into it, okay, as well as the audience. So there's a good mutual energy going between the audience and the band. So after Neighbors comes from Black and Blue, Hand of Fate. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. No Expectations, again from Beggar's Banquet comes next. And then, the audience, they're really into it, and the band sort of just slow things down. Mick Jagger is interacting with the audience, asking how they're doing. And then they go into Beast of Burden. Okay. And the audience are just on their feet. They don't sit down for the entire show. After Beast of Burden, they go into Stray Cat Blues from Beggar's Banquet. And then they go into a song that I've never seen them do live, Dance Part One from Emotional Rescue. For me, it's an extended track. It's a version that's like 6 minutes, 37 seconds. And I look at it as a tour de force of funk. I mean, a lot of swagger from Jagger. Okay, no pun intended, but a lot of swagger, a lot of attitude, and he's basically got the audience in the palm of his hand, right? And the guys, Ronnie Wood and Keith Richards, they're there, they're smoking the cigarettes, they're playing guitar, they're smoking the cigarettes, and they're just, they're into it. But you know what? They're having a good time. Okay. They don't feel like they need to perform for the camera. They're performing for the audience. Okay. The camera to them is just secondary. Yes, they're filming it. They know they're filming it, but they're not playing for the camera. Okay. They're not. Um, After Dance Part One, they do three sets of covers. They do a version of Everybody Needs Somebody to Love. And at that point, Solomon Burke comes out and has a bit of a duet with Mick Jagger. And the first time I ever heard this song was from the original Blues Brothers movie from 1980. Apparently, they said they opened the shows with this track in the 60s. And it's a good, rousing rendition of it. The audience is into it, Keith, sorry, Mick is pointing at the audience, for the choruses, and the audience is responding. And at one point, Solomon Burke gives Mick Jagger this huge cape to wear, like a James Brown moment. And after that, they go into an Otis Redding cover of That's How Strong My Love Is. Okay. And then they do go into a go-go. Okay. At that point, after going to a go-go, they do the band introductions. And that's the end of disc one. Disc two starts off with Keith Richards doing a couple of lead vocals here. First, he does a version of Through and Through from Voodoo Lounge. Pretty rousing rendition. And what I've noticed on this, watching this concert, as I put this down to want my stuff to fall, I noticed how Keith Richards plays his guitar. He doesn't play his guitar in the usual way with his, one hand on the fretboard and the other hand just strumming away in the usual spot. He plays higher up on the guitar, like he strums on the fretboard at the same time as maneuvering the strings. It's very odd for me to watch him to do that. I've never really noticed it, but he does for this performance for most of it. And that's fine. He does a really fantastic version of Through and Through. Then he goes into another track called From Bridges to Babylon, You Don't Have to Mean It. And it's pretty much a reggae version of this track. He calls it a reggae version of this track. And you know what? He's a good vocalist. I really don't think that a lot of people give uh, Keith Richards, well, I haven't myself haven't given him a lot of credit as a vocalist. He can be a lead vocalist. Okay, he's got the chops. He can sing. He's got a good voice. He's got the charisma to lead a band if he wanted to. But obviously, he opted to give that job to Mick Jagger. After You Don't Have to Mean It comes a rousing extended version of Can't You Hear Me Knocking, clocking in at 10 minutes and 20 seconds. And it is just a tour de force. Everyone is into it. the band take this opportunity on this track to each person take a solo. So you have Richards taking a solo, you have Wood taking a solo on the guitar, you have Charlie Watts keeping everything in check and in time on the drums, keeping everything going, and all the they have two keyboard players on stage, backup keyboard players. They each take a solo. Daryl Jones on bass takes a solo. Daryl Jones as a bass player, forget about it. He is the man. He can keep everyone in check, keep everyone in time, and just keep everything pulsating along, keep moving. After Can't You Hear Me Knocking comes Rock Me Baby. Okay. Bitch is next. I love saying that word, bitch. And they do a really good version of it. Everyone's into it. The audience is going nuts. And after bitch comes Honky Tonk Woman, a really good version of that. Start Me Up is next. And you kind of get the feeling that things are winding down on stage, right? But not so. After Start Me Up comes a fantastic version of Brown Sugar, and everyone is just into it, right? And, you know, at one point, Mick Jagger calls over Lisa Fisher, and they're sort of like, pseudo, I guess, bumping, butts and hips whenever they're like gyrating, getting into it. Um, and they end the show with a rousing rendition of Tumbling Dice. Okay. Watching this show, and again, watching how the band interact with the audience and, vice versa. It is just, for me, it's a relaxed atmosphere, but it's also a very electrifying performance because I mean the band are into it. They're grooving, they're having a good time. Again, they don't really give a shit about the cameras. They know that they're filming. Uh, it was it was filmed for Mercury Studios. The album was released through Universal and Rolling Stones Records, their own imprint. But getting back to the show, you can tell that that the band are there for the audience and to play. Okay. And they're just enjoying each other. And the audience is getting into it as well. You can get this album on obviously on all the usual outlets. You can get it on things almost fell over. You can get it on Discogs. You can get it at your local record store. You can get it on eBay. I paid for my copy here. I'll show you again. Again, this is the Blu-ray version. I paid $42.99 for this. The double disc with DVD version is something like 29.99, I do believe. Again, it's also available on double disc and triple LP version. I can show you briefly here what it looks like inside. Here you have again a mock-up of the logo of the Rolling Stones, lips and teeth. And here you have a four-paneled, try and show it to you because it's quite expansive here. Here we go. I'll do my best. Here we go. A four-paneled shot of the band. What I like about, and as you can see, it's done in black and sepia tone, not black and white, which I think is a little more classy than just the black and white. There we go. It's hard to fit it all in one shot. Now, what I like about this, I've complained a lot before about the stupidity of the digipack, because I mean, you get these albums or these packages and you pay a good penny for them and you try and get the discs out and you invariably end up ripping the sleeve trying to get the discs out, depending on however you're able to get them out, right? This Digipack is done really well because the Blu-ray, instead of being in the final panel, is in the front. So, and it's wide enough that it just slides out. So you don't have to fight with it to get your fingers in to pull the disc out and put the disc in the player. It basically slides out and you're able to watch it. And your your cover or Digipack cover is not ripped. So please check it out. Again, you can get this in the various formats I've mentioned, and you'll enjoy it. Again, the show is just shy of 2 hours, 112 minutes approximately. It is really good. It is, again, a good representation of the Stones and a good cross section of, well-known hits and rarities. And it is just a good feel good, a good representation of a feel good concert. Sorry. Don't mean to repeat myself. But there you go, guys. If you've listened to the album, you can probably haven't tried it yet, but I do believe you can stream it online. There are videos of of these performances on YouTube in separate segments. Check them out. And if you have the album, please put down in the comments down below what you think of this album, And again, please have a good day. Look after yourselves. I am going to be doing more videos with Bill Schuster. We're going to be filming a new music discovery segment featuring the Tea Party. Bill's going to talk to me about his views on their major label debut on EMI Canada and Chrysalis in the UK. Splendor Solace, he's going to be talking about his view on that album. And we're going to be doing a series on the Tea Party with New Music Discovery, the same as we did with George Jackson a few months back. And we're going to be doing parts 2 and 3 of our top 30 prog tracks. I have my list ready to go. And so does Bill. It's just a matter of timing. We're going to get that done and more shows to come. I'm also going to be doing, sorry, I forgot to mention, I'm also going to be doing and ranking the albums on the progressive metal band Tool. That's going to be really good. I've been listening to the albums. They're quite intense. They're quite long. Each album is like between 68 to like 78 minutes long, quite long. So I'm going to be doing my notes on that and I'm going to be presenting it to you very soon. So please take care of yourselves and one another, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye for now.